can I have just a moment of honesty with you right now?
Yes, ma'am.
No filter. I walked into this exact studio when I was 15 years old, and I performed at that same mark on a stage.
Wow.
And to walk into the building and feel so nostalgic, and then have this like moment of realization where like little Becky had dreams, and here we are now, and then big Becky had a dream to walk through the J Hud tunnel, and that comes true too.
Yay.
It was just so cool, and it was so beautiful.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, God is so good.
Thank you.
Just funny sometimes,
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, you know, we're happy to have you here, and we're loving on you. And I want to get into your documentary, Rebecca.
Do it.
Congratulations. Because we just saw the clip, and it was already powerful. So I know we can expect great things, and I know it's like extremely personal for you. But tell us, what does 200% mean to you?
So 200% really was the only way I could express what it means to me. Not just how I show up in the world, but the experiences that I have. You know, the movie Selena, when the great quote,
my favorite movie.
when her dad says, you gotta be more Mexican than the Mexicans, you gotta be more American than the Americans. It's exhausting. And I remember my whole life feeling this like identity crisis of, you know, well, where do I belong, you know? And they call us pochos, and they say ni de aquí ni de allá. And my thing was always like, entonces, ¿dónde me quedo? Like, where am I supposed to go then, you know? And in reality, what I thought was, what felt like a curse was actually a really great blessing. And instead of viewing it as something that's wrong with me, I now embody it as a superpower.
Yes.
I'm 200%. I'm lucky to have two worlds, two cultures, two flags, two languages to be able to draw inspiration from, to be able to express myself in, and to be able to represent. So that's what 200% means.
That's powerful and chilling. You're going to inspire so many others to know they can do that too.
Thank you.
I love that. And you're so wise. You started working at 9 years old. That is amazing. And what gave you the drive to know you want to like work and be able to do it and to help your family?
I come from make it happen people. You know, like my grandparents, all four of them were part of what my grandma calls her little pueblito, the village and the tribe that kind of like raised me.
Yeah.
I had all four of my grandparents very present and were very influential in my life, in my upbringing. And I would hear stories of them, you know, working at 7, 8, 9 years old. And so in my brain, I was like, well, if they did it, I can too, forgetting that was in Mexico and this is America and there's such thing as child labor laws. So I was like, a little different, but kind of the same. And, you know, they came from nothing and made everything out of it.
Right.
With 19 grandchildren on my mom's side and one of 15 on my dad's. Like, my grandma's not kidding when she says her little pueblito. Like, that's really what it is. They came here with nothing, and now they have everything. We have our family. We have, you know, the grandbabies to the great-grandbabies and so on, and everybody's just doing their thing, and I'm an extension of that, you know? And so I think that's kind of what drives me, is just knowing that I'm a part of something bigger than me.
Yes, I love how grounded you are.
Thank you.
Yes, it's beautiful. Can you tell us, what was your first job?
So I did everything.
You did?
I did. I remember, I didn't really have a lot of references. I think growing up, a lot of them were already like grown women, like J-Lo, Shakira, Selena Quintanilla, Jenny Rivera. My mom was, we love Jenny, huh? And so my mom was always like playing music, but I like looked to, like my mom would play old movies and stuff, and I would watch like Shirley Temple. Oh. And so it's funny because like I'm a little brown girl and she's like very much like blonde, like looks nothing like me, but I was like, oh, she's performing, she's doing these things, and I was like, I could do that too. And so I was like acting, doing voiceovers, fit modeling, wherever I could get the check, I was like, I will do it.
Oh.
And so I did a Kids Bop commercial. That was like my first.
That's your
No,
middle
you didn't!
surprise.
You guys got some pictures? That's so funny. Wait.
What do you remember when you
What
look
do I
at this?
remember from that? Okay,
Yes.
so guys, this was my first real job. And it took me, I got to travel. It was my first time on a plane. We shot it in New York City, San Francisco, and like middle of nowhere, desert, like Nevada. And it was like the coolest thing ever. Because I grew up in Inglewood by LAX airport.
Oh.
And so I would watch airplanes take off and land all the time, and I would always wonder where they were going. And so when I got this job and I got to go on a plane for the first time, I remember seeing my grandma's house from the window of the plane.
Oh, my
and being like,
goodness.
oh, that's what it's like up there, but now we're up there and that's down there.
I love that you call yourself genreless, a genreless artist. And I know your last album was released was in Spanish. So what style of music do you plan to create next?
Ooh, I don't know. I think that I'm very lucky that my fans have definitely blessed me with like the title of like the collaboration queen, because since the very beginning of my career, I've been lucky enough to collaborate and get the blessing from so many people I looked up to in my career. I've done country Spanish fusion, I've done K-pop collaboration,
wow.
I've done mixing of the Spanglish, doing the English and the Spanish thing, reggaeton, música mexicana. So like, I don't know, it feels like the sky's the limit.
Your happy place is here. What was your favorite part? Drop it in the comments and subscribe to help keep the joy coming.